Hello my dear students, I warmly welcome you to Sierra Digital Classes. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about one of the important theorem based on the characteristic 0. Okay, let's see the statement of the theorem first of all. If capital F is a field of characteristic 0, okay, then prove that field capital F contain subfield. That subfield is isomorphic to the rational numbers. Okay, this is the statement of the theorem. First of all, he gave that capital F is a field. Okay, that field whatever you can take. We have the possibilities for the field. You can take field of real numbers. Okay, field of integers or field of complex numbers. Okay, so in that format, in place of capital F, for example, if you take field of real numbers, that field of real numbers has a characteristic 0. Characteristic 0 is nothing but purely that is the field of integers only. For the field of integers only, characteristic is 0. Okay, so field of integers characteristic 0. Then we have to prove that capital F contains a subfield. Field is capital F, subfield kuda undi. Aa subfield anedi entante isomorphic to the rational numbers. Isomorphic to the rational numbers ante Q. Okay, so therefore that is the statement of the theorem. So we have to prove that isomorphism condition. Isomorphism condition ante మనం ఏమని ప్రూవ్ చేయాలి? సో ఒకటి హోమోమార్ఫిజం అని ప్రూవ్ చేయాలి. ఓకే, సో హోమోమార్ఫిజం తర్వాత మనం ఏమని ప్రూవ్ చేయాలి? 1 1 అండ్ ఆన్ 2. ఈ 3 కండిషన్స్ మనం ప్రూవ్ చేస్తే ఇట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ ఐసోమార్ఫిజం. మళ్ళీ ఈ 3 కండిషన్స్ ప్రూవ్ చేయాలంటే ఫస్ట్ ఏం డిఫైన్ చేయాలి? ఒక మ్యాపింగ్ డిఫైన్ చేయాలి, ఒక సెట్ ఉండాలి, ఒక ప్రాపర్టీ ఉండాలి. అప్పుడైతే గానీ మనము ఈ 3 కండిషన్స్ ని సాటిస్ఫై చేయలేము. సో నౌ లెట్స్ స్టార్ట్ ద ప్రూఫ్ ఆఫ్ ద థియరం. గివెన్ దట్ క్యాపిటల్ F ఈజ్ ఎ ఫీల్డ్ ఆఫ్ క్యారెక్టరిస్టిక్ 0. మీరు గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి, ఇక్కడ క్యాపిటల్ F అని ఇచ్చాడు కదా, ఆ క్యాపిటల్ F ఏదో కాదు, ఇంటీజర్స్. ఓకే, ఎందుకంటే ఇంటీజర్స్ కే మనకు క్యారెక్టరిస్టిక్ 0 అవుతుంది. మీకు ఆల్రెడీ ప్రీవియస్ లెక్చర్ లో కూడా చెప్పాను, క్యారెక్టరిస్టిక్ ఆఫ్ F ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు 0 అంటే ఏదైనా సెట్ తీసుకుంటే ఆ సెట్ లో ఎనీ 2 ఎలిమెంట్ ని మల్టిప్లై చేస్తే మనకి ఏం కావాలి అంటే 0 అవ్వాలి. కానీ ఎలాంటి నంబర్ లీస్ట్ పాజిటివ్. ఓకే, సో దెర్ ఈస్ నో లీస్ట్ పాజిటివ్ ఇంటీజర్ n such that n into a is equal to 0. ఒక నంబర్ తీసుకుంటాం, 3 నో 4 5 6. ఆ నంబర్ తోటి ఆ సెట్ లో ఉన్న ఈచ్ అండ్ ఫర్ ఎవ్రీ ఎలిమెంట్ ని మల్టిప్లై చేయాలి, ఖచ్చితంగా అది 0 అవ్వాలి. ఒకవేళ 0 కాకపోతే దెర్ ఈస్ నో క్యారెక్టరిస్టిక్ 0 అని చెప్పేస్తాం. సో దేర్ ఫోర్ అలాంటి సిచ్యువేషన్ ఉన్న వాటిని ఏమంటామంటే క్యారెక్టరిస్టిక్. అంటే ఎలాంటి నంబర్ 0 నంబర్ తోటి మల్టిప్లై చేసిన కూడా 0 అవ్వలేదు అనుకోండి, దట్ స్మాల్ n, the least positive integer is called the characteristic of that field. Okay, so let small s be isomorphic to z. Okay, s is isomorphic to z. So now I am taking here s is the another subfield. Okay, and here you have z is also s is isomorphic z, and g be the ring isomorphism from s to z. Okay, from s to z I am taking z. Okay, so now let I am defining one set capital T is equal to a into b inverse such that where a comma b belongs to capital S. Okay, so you can take capital S, in this you have a into b. Okay, so a comma belongs to capital S where b definitely not is equal to 0, and b the subfield in capital F. Okay, subfield in capital F. Then I am defining one mapping, F mapping T to Q. Okay, this is the mapping originally. F mapping T to Q be a mapping that is defined by F of A into B inverse is equal to G of A by G of B. Okay, F of A into B inverse is equal to G of A by G of B. So you can see here, whenever you write A into B inverse, what is the meaning of that value? So A by B. Okay, it is a quotient value, fraction value. A into B inverse means A by B. So that is only they are writing F of A into B inverse is equal to G of A into G of B inverse actually. Okay, so G of A into G of B inverse, but that G of B inverse they are writing in the numerator by G of G. Okay, so that is taken as equation number C. So here the main mapping is F. Okay, with the help of this equation number 1 we have to prove homomorphism condition, 1 1 condition and on 2 condition. Then only we can say that that mapping is satisfies the isomorphic to the rational numbers. So therefore now from the definition of the ring homomorphism, okay, phi is a ring homomorphism if it is satisfies the following conditions. Okay, here we are going to prove the theorem with the help of the ring homomorphism. So far we discussed that group homomorphism. Okay, in that group homomorphism also will have the two properties. Same ring homomorphism will have the same two conditions. Those are the phi of a plus b is equal to phi of a plus phi of b, and phi of a into b is equal to phi of a into phi of b. Let s comma t belongs to capital T. I am taking two elements, small s comma t belongs to capital T. Then there exists a, b, c, d belongs to capital S. Okay, so where b equal to d, okay, b equal to d, and both elements are not is equal to 0. Why? Because those both elements comes in a denominator. So therefore, such that yes, you can write a into b inverse, and t you can write c into d inverse. Why we have to take the elements in that format means our given function f of a into b inverse. Why we have to take the element in this format means the codomain is rational numbers. Rational numbers always exist in the fraction format. Fraction format you can write in this format only. A into b inverse is nothing but a by b. A by b clearly it is the form of rational numbers. That is only. You can observe the statement once again. The subfield is isomorphic to rational numbers. That's why only the notation, the form of the numbers elements we are taking in that a into b inverse format only. Okay, so f is an element in the domain, that is a into b inverse. T is the another element, that is c into d inverse. A into b inverse means a by b. C into d inverse means c by d. So that is the rational numbers format means. So now we first of all we are going to prove that the mapping f is homomorphism. Consider first of all f of s plus f of t. We are applying this first condition. Okay, f of s plus f of t. Okay, substitute the s value a into b inverse and t value c into d inverse. Apply the equation number 1 here. Okay, g by a, g of a by g of b, and g of c by g of d. Okay, since by equation number 1, take the LCM, you will get this value. Okay, after getting the LCM, so you can apply the formula for the numerator separately, formula for the denominator separately by using these two equations. Okay, or else you can call it as equation star. So therefore g of AD plus BC by g of B into D. So it is again in the form of g of A by g of B only. Then you can write f of A into B inverse by using reverse formula of equation number 1. So it is in the RHS form of equation number 1. Then you can write into LHS form, f of A into B inverse. What is the A value? As it is, B inverse is B into D whole inverse. Okay, B into D whole inverse. According to the socks and shoes property, you can write D inverse into B inverse. That is only here we are writing D inverse into B inverse. Now with this you can multiply this term. So there you will get f into A into B inverse, this one. So if you simplify them, this value will become identity. Okay, and this value will become identity. So if you simplify them, you will get f of A into B inverse plus C into D inverse. What is the A into B inverse? Small s. C into D inverse? Small t. So therefore f of s plus t. So we took RHS of this equation, phi of A, phi of B, that is f of s plus f of t. We got LHS of that equation, f of s plus t. So therefore f of s plus f of t is equal to f of s plus t. So therefore by simplifying you will get that equation number 2, that is the half part of the homomorphism. Second half part enti, ippudu ee part ni prove chestam manam. Okay, dan place lone f తీసుకున్నాం కదా. So therefore f of s into f of t, this is the formula for by equation number 1. You can apply this formula, you will get this condition, g of a into c by g of b into d. And by using equation number 1 RHS, you can write the LHS value f of a into c into b into d inverse. By socks and shoes condition, you can write d inverse into b inverse. By applying the associative property here, a into b inverse and c into d inverse, to get the s and t values. Okay, this is the s value and this is the t value. So therefore f of s into f of t is equal to f of s into t. So two conditions of homomorphism were satisfied by the given mapping f. So therefore from equation 2 and 3, the mapping f mapping t to q is a ring homomorphism. Don't write the group homomorphism. Group homomorphism is different. You are using that ring homomorphism. Okay, half of the theorem completed. Now second half is isomorphism. To prove that F is ring isomorphism, to show this we have to prove that F is ring homomorphism. Already this part is done. Now we have to prove that F is 1 1 and F is onto. Okay, so now to come this part, F is 1 1. F is 1 1 means, so I am taking f of s is equal to f of t. That is the image values are equal. F of s is equal to f of t. Then substitute the s and t values, f of s and f of t. So therefore by using equation number 1, RHS g of a by g of b and g of c by g of d. Okay, so do cross multiplication. So therefore g of a into g of d, g of b into g of c. Okay, so apply the homomorphism condition right hand side, then you will get g of a into d and g of b into c. By taking that cancellation loss, you will write a into d is equal to b into c. Okay, with this help, okay, send this b to RHS, send this d to LHS. Because f is an isomorphism, you can use that property. So therefore you will get a into b inverse is equal to c into d inverse. What is the a into d inverse? S only. And what is the c into d inverse? T only. We took f of s is equal to f of t. We got s is equal to t. So therefore this is the purely 1 1 condition. Okay, whenever you take two elements, their image also equal to the same elements only. So therefore f is 1 1 since G is isomorphism only. Next second condition is onto. What is the onto condition? For each and every element in range in codomain, there exists at least one image in the domain. So therefore let I am taking one element P belongs to rational numbers. Okay, P belongs to rational numbers means that exist in the codomain. Okay, then there exists M comma N belongs to Z. Why? Because here Z is the field. I told you na. So the field of characteristic 0 is capital Z only, where N naught is equal to 0. Therefore, with the help of integers, I am writing one rational number P is equal to M by N. P is equal to M by N means here 1 by 2 is the one rational number and 3 by 4 is the another rational number. 5 by 6 is the another rational. There what are the 1, 2, 3, 4? All numbers are the integers only. Since capital G is ring isomorphism, okay, from S to Z, then there exist two elements A comma B belongs to S, where B naught is equal to 0. Then G of A is equal to M and G of B is equal to N. So therefore, now by taking that given mapping f of A into B inverse is equal to, you can write G of A by G of B. What is the G of A? M. What is the G of B? N. M by N means you can write it is equal to P. Where what is the P? It is a rational number. So therefore you can write f of A into B inverse is equal to S by T, where S by T is the rational number. That rational numbers exist in the codomain only. Codomain is nothing but range. So therefore for every image in the range, there exists one pre-image in the domain. So therefore clearly f is onto condition. So therefore from equation 2, 3, f is homomorphism. From equation 4, f is 1 1. From equation 5, f is onto. Okay, so therefore by above all equation clearly we can say that f is ring isomorphism. So therefore hence the set capital T is ring isomorphic to a field of rational numbers. Okay, so this is the total explanation of this theorem. In this theorem we did a simple job is to prove that ring isomorphism. First of all we have to do ring homomorphism. After that we have to do 1 1 condition, onto condition. To prove that a ring homomorphism, we used that a mapping F mapping A into B inverse is equal to G of A by G of B. With the help of that equation number 1 only, we proved all these conditions. Okay, so in this format in the examination, if you get any question belongs to this topic, so you have to do in this process only, and don't forget do the side headings. Okay, because side headings are the main attraction for the proof of the any theorem, and this diagrammatic representation also you have to mention in the theorem. Okay, so this is the total explanation of the theorem. I hope you understood this theorem very well. Make a perfect practice, prepare well. Until bye, thank you.